Hi there, thanks for joining us on Let's Talk Taste with Sherry, where we're saving the earth one flavor at a time by gathering community to share wisdom around the natural connections between our innate sense of taste and flavors that are grown in healthy regenerative soils. Welcome.
Hey there, Sherry Hess with the Flavor Remedy. Happy 4th of July weekend. When you think of 4th of July, you think of the classic food here in America, burgers, corn on the cob, watermelon. Burgers are almost always a thing, right? And it made me think about just this past week, I was in the refrigerated section of the grocery store, and I'm watching these two women kind of juxtaposition and try to get their way in to reach for their package of Impossible Burger. It's the first time I've actually seen it in the store, like packaged. It looked like ground beef. I was like, what is this? So I've heard about the Impossible Burger, right? I think Burger King has an Impossible Burger. Like, it's becoming a thing in mainstream. I'm like, I've never really looked into it. I'm like, what is this? So I know it's plant-based protein, right? And I understand that there is a lot of rhetoric around being, more heavily plant-based diet these days. And in typical American diet culture, we are kind of fed this idea that being plant-based is the way to save yourself, the way to save the world, the way to save the environment. And there's aspects of each of those things that have truth to it, right? But it really made me curious, and it made me really want to break down what is the Impossible Burger. And of course, in my mind, where is the flavor coming from, right? So I pulled up the website for the Impossible Burger. They have a very flashy, very fancy website. It has lots of cool colors, little cartoon videos, a lot of science-based. It's like, it reminds me of Schoolhouse Rock. To teach you about science and food at a cartoon level so that you can understand what it is that they're giving you. And in the process of reading the ingredients, there's an ingredients list. They're very clear. They're very transparent about the ingredients that they put in there. I think they're very proud of their ingredients. And one of the ingredients that they talk about in there is something called, I don't know how to pronounce it, heme, H-E-M-E. Maybe it's hemi, maybe it's, I don't know. Heme is what I'm going to go with for today. I'm like, what is heme, right? So I start looking, and it's a soy-based product. Soy protein concentrate, I think, is like one of the first ingredients on there. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, and this is how my brain works, right? I'm always like, okay, so does soy make sense when it comes to the umami flavor that we're looking for in a burger, right? They're calling this a burger. They're not calling it a veggie patty. They're absolutely positively marketing this thing as a meat substitute. If you like meat, you should eat this because it's plant-based, and now you have an alternative to whatever it is in your mind that you think makes meat a bad thing, right? This is how this is marketed. So this is not meant to be any kind of a bash on veganism or choosing vegetarianism. There's so much good in eating more plants, right? So I'm not bashing eating plants. I am just looking at this one particular item that's marketing itself as a meat. And then breaking that down from a flavor perspective, right? Where is the flavor coming from? I'm always asking myself, where is the flavor coming from? So when you look at soy, and when I think of a burger in general, I'm absolutely thinking of umami, right? I want that juicy, meaty, I want to bite into it. I want to have that juiciness. I want to have that umami flavor, which leaves that like layer of, like after it's swallowed, it leaves this kind of taste in your mouth that leaves you wanting more. It kind of keeps your salivary glands going. It's a savory flavor. It's like, I always say it's the flavor of deliciousness, right? So soy in a burger, it kind of makes sense because soy is a high protein plant. It is a higher protein level plant. You see soy milk, you see soy powder. There's so many things that that soy can represent protein. So there's a little bit of sense there, but soy doesn't taste like a burger. I mean, if you just eat umami, it doesn't taste like a burger, right? You can buy edamame at an Asian restaurant and you eat it, it tastes like edamame. It doesn't taste like a burger. So there's something else that's making this taste like a meat. So if you go a couple ingredients down in the list, or if you just go on their website and you look at this whole heme thing that they're doing. So I'm reading this and I'm like, what is heme? And they talk about it being a molecule that recreates flavor, and everything that they describe as this heme being what they're creating, using to create this meaty flavor. It's umami. They've just renamed the umami flavor, and they're very proud of the fact that they are using genetically modified, laboratory created flavors to reproduce this meaty flavor. I don't know this for a fact, but heme is very, very likely another recreation of monosodium glutamate. It's fascinating to me that monosodium glutamate has kind of like, sometimes it's like blatantly on ingredient lists, and other times it's hidden. And the fifth ingredient of this Impossible Burger is natural flavors. And natural flavors is just a black hole for lots of things you don't even know. And MSG can absolutely be hidden in natural flavors, okay? Well, what's funny to me is they talk about this heme, they talk about this molecule and how they're using fermented yeast to create this molecule, and they're calling it heme, but there's no heme on the ingredients list. So like they're painting it as this fancy, splashy, scientific, cool molecule that they've recreated, but it's not listed as an ingredient. So I still don't know what it is. I still don't know what it is. But from my research and my knowing about recreation of flavors, it just, everything that it says is just pointing to being monosodium glutamate. Some kind of a recreation of a molecule that creates this savory flavor is absolutely the definition of what why monosodium glutamate was created. So it just makes me so curious, right? Why are we willing to go down this road? Why are we willing to go down this road of trusting these manufactured flavors to be the source of the flavor that we're willing to eat? If you want a burger, and you want a burger that is a healthy choice, I just want to say that it's not always a bad choice to choose meat if the meat is not contributing to all of those things that you're opposed to. So if you're opposed to the environment being destroyed because of the commercial, feedlots, oh my gosh, I totally agree. I totally agree that those commercial feedlots are terrible. But what are you supporting if you're choosing to eat meat because you don't want to support commercial feedlots? What are you supporting by choosing the Impossible Burger? What are you supporting in your body? What are you telling your taste buds? You're telling your taste buds that you're getting this huge umami flavor, but it's not really matching up. And what if you just chose a burger that comes from a cow that is raised the way a cow is supposed to be raised, that has fresh air, that has fresh grass, that gets to roam a pasture, that has higher omegas? The things that were being marketed as this product being so much better because of all the health things that are in it, including all the vitamins that they add to it at the end of their list. Granted, not vitamins that are grown into the plant, because we've already extracted all of the protein out of the plant, but let's add a bunch of stuff into the end to make it look like it's really healthy. It's like another version of the Flintstone cereal, like back when they were doing fortified cereals, right? I see all that list of vitamins at the end. I'm like, nobody lists like all the vitamins when they buy a package of kale, but they're just there, right? So it's just fascinating. It's this another form of marketing, right? So anyway, I just wanted to kind of come on and talk about, a regular burger versus this Impossible Burger thing. This Impossible Burger is absolutely 100% created in a laboratory. I am not opposed to, soy as a plant, because soy as a plant is, has a lot of good things in it. But this is not soy as a plant. This is soy as it has been extracted and manufactured and processed and flavor added, and then vitamins thrown on top of it. And I just don't know why we think this is okay. And again, I get it. I get the whole idea of why we need to be eating more plants, and I'm all for eating more plants. I just think that this is a really, really classic example of flavors not coming from life and not supporting our planet. And I'm going to leave you with that thought.